Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, Marquette County Commissioner meeting to order, 6 p.m. Brian, would you be kind enough to lead us in the pledge? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Linda.
Sure. Commissioner DePietro.
Please excuse Mr. DePietro, he is homesick.
Commissioner Adamini.
Here.
Commissioner Lalone.
Commissioner Lalone is out on business. Please excuse her as well.
Commissioner Nordine.
Here.
Commissioner Alcott. And Chairperson DeRoche.
Here. So we are going to have a late addition, Bill, is that?
Sure. I'd make a motion to approve the agenda with one late addition, which would be 11A, Lake Superior Community Partnership and Legislative Appropriation.
So is there support? Support by Commissioner Elholm, motion by Vice Chair Nordine. Any further questions or comments on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Agenda approved. Approval of the minutes from the following meeting, regular meeting held on May 6th, 2025.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Elholm.
Support.
Support by Commissioner Adamini. Any questions or comments on the May 6th meeting? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Proclamations, presentations, and awards. Scott Stade. Scott, would you like to come up?
We won't make you say anything, you just gotta stand there. We're glad you joined us, though. So, Marquette County Board of Commissioners resolution honoring Scott Stade on his retirement. Whereas government has an obligation to provide its citizens with services of the highest quality, and whereas quality services can only be provided by employees of the highest caliber. And whereas Scott Stade began his career with the county of Marquette as a road patrol deputy on January 3rd, 2000. He served the county as a corrections deputy from December 2003 to September 2005 when he returned to the road patrol. In October of 2022, Scott was promoted to corporal detective, assigned to the UP Substance Enforcement Team, where he has served until his retirement on May 24th, 2025. And whereas during his career with the Sheriff's Office, Scott has been known to have a great work ethic, positive attitude, and an ability to remain calm during difficult and dangerous encounters. He has been commended for being kind and courteous during interactions with the public, and for having excellent investigation skills. In all his roles with the Sheriff's Department, which also include the dive team, court security, and airport security, he has been an asset to the department. Scott will be greatly missed by his many friends and colleagues throughout the Sheriff's Office and the county, and therefore be it resolved that Marquette County recognizes and thanks Detective Scott Stade for over 25 years of service to the Marquette County Sheriff's Office. The county wishes Scott and his wife Brett the very best in retirement. Proclaimed this 20th day of May 2025, Joseph DeRoche, Marquette County Board Chairperson.
Congratulations.
Thanks for everything
Well done.
you've done for us.
Well done. Yeah, outstanding. Well earned.
We hate to lose all the good guys, but it seems to be happening, so.
Just the old guys.
You and me both.
Well, we certainly thank you for your service, and you've been an outstanding employee. In all of 12 years, I've only heard nothing but good things about you, so well done, well done. Public comment. Public comment. Please state your name.
Hello, my name is Graham Vink. I live at 338 Stratford in Gwyn. Originally, I was here to talk about the cuts to Medicare and Medicaid that are currently being pushed through committee at the federal level, but this is kind of expanded to talk about that entire bill. These proposed cuts, and at this time the term is proposed, are being called the Big Beautiful Bill. They are part of a budget currently in a committee working through reconciliation. For those that are unaware, reconciliation is a special form of bill that requires only a simple majority from the Senate rather than a 60% vote. It can only be used on bills that would affect the national debt, decreasing or, as in this and most other cases, increasing the national debt. The Big Beautiful Bill is definitely big. It's over 1,000 pages, giving $1 trillion with a T tax cuts to the highly wealthy. To help compensate, not completely, but help compensate a bit for that cut, the proposed bill will cut funding to SNAP, Medicare, Medicaid, education, and national parks. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but from what I am beholding, it's anything but. As of 2019, Marquette County has had a food insecurity rating of 13.9% by feedingamerica.org. That's 9,260 individuals within our county. Ask any food bank today in the county, they will tell you that they are hurting for donations. My grandfather, a veteran, already cannot cover his diabetes and cancer treatments on Medicare alone, having to take a secondary market insurance with a $2,000 deductible while on a fixed income. We are fortunate enough that he might survive these cuts, but we are by far in the minority. According to Georgetown University, 22% of the county has some form of Medicaid coverage. National Parks funding directly affects the tourism industry for the state, Isle Royale, for example. These cuts even indirectly affect Marquette County, as our local campgrounds and hotels are less frequented as trips to and from parks are canceled or never get planned. Not to mention the Park Service has an economic output of $55.6 billion. The budget for the Park Service was just $3.6 billion. To be clear, completely separate from the $20 billion of additional spending from consumers for local businesses, the Park Service alone generated $52 billion towards the national budget. It's a return on investment of 14 times the initial investment. There are people on both sides of the aisle saying how with basic budget literacy, this bill will skyrocket the national debt and hurt your constituents. The administration is trying to obscure these actions, keep them out of the public eye. Committee votes on sending this bill to this budget to the House or Senate are happening late at night. Last Sunday at 10 p.m. and tonight at 1 a.m. This is beyond the question of reasonable doubt. Our friends, our families, our communities will be hurt by this bill, and I'm asking you to speak up for us. I will have to leave before this meeting ends due to a prior commitment. I will be tuned into the Zoom meeting, hoping to hear a response. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Graham. Public comment. Public comment.
Lynn Durant, I just want to remind you that the Central UP Materials Management Committee will meet the 29th, next Thursday, at 1 o'clock at the landfill. It's an open meeting, and we'll be touring the MRF, they call it. Still didn't find out what the acronym means. I'll have to do that. But you're welcome to come, since it's an open meeting, and see how the recycling, what do you call that, treadmill sort of works. It's amazing. You'd better wear some heavy duty shoes and some old clothes, because it is kind of dirty and messy and smelly, but it's amazing to watch. So you're welcome to come at 1 o'clock.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you for your report. Public comment. Public comment. Is there any further public comment? Any electronic participation? No? One more time, public comment. We'll close the first public comment period. Review of claims and accounts, total expenditures paid via check and EFT transfer for the period of May 2nd, 2025 through May 15th, 2025 were $1,538,007.88. This check does not reflect payable to Elder Delta Co-op Electric. And the biweekly payroll for the period ending May 10th, 2025 was $965,349.15. Board, your pleasure.
I move to pay.
Motion by Commissioner Adamini, support by Commissioner Elholm. Any questions or comments on the bills? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I'd make a motion to pay check number 231994 in the amount of $355.01 payable to Elder Delta Co-op Electric.
Motion by the Vice Chair. Is there support?
Yes.
Support by Commissioner Adamini. Any questions or comments? There's a standing abstention for Commissioner Elholm, for she sits on the board. All in favor? Aye. Abstain? Motion carried. Pay the bills. There's no public hearings. Privilege comment. We have Jerry Masana here tonight. Jerry, would you take the floor, please?
Well, I did pass out, did you pass out?
Yes. Yes.
So actually, Commissioner Lalonde actually asked me to give a little presentation. She's been getting some inquiries about the membership and how the opioid task force works. I just wanted to spend a couple of minutes talking to you about what we've done and where we're at. So the first page of the handout is a project status. So there are, there's $194,000 that's been budgeted in 2025, and you can see how the money is being spent. Just to go through it real quick, the health department's getting $65,000 to employ a part-time health educator to do 4 goals, and we set these goals up. Teach prevention education to the high school students, which we've done. Organize an opioid fatality review committee, which we have done and have reviewed our first case. And by the way, I applaud the decision about the medical examiner, because that position is key to this role, so thank you for that. And then do some community prevention education, which we'll be doing in the summer, and then do some grant research. And the rest you can see is really for community corrections. TRICAP, I don't know if people are familiar with TRICAP, but it's an inpatient treatment program. It's you know about that, Will, right? So it's been very successful, and the $20,000 is basically an entry fee to have 4 people go down to the center. So I don't have any other comments on this sheet. I will say that there is $30,000 that's still unallocated, unspent, and what the task force is going to propose is to do kind of a mini grant RFP kind of a thing, and we're in the process of developing that. We'll come back with what that recommendation might be. This is not a formal consensus. Generally, it's decision by consensus. We bring it back to the board, the amounts get approved, and we move forward. One thing I did want to share with you, which is at page 2, which is one of the reasons that Commissioner Lalonde was curious, is just give you a list of the players. So you can see all of the agencies that have attended this. Now, not every agency attends every meeting. We've been meeting since the end of 2023. We meet every other month on the first Wednesday of the even months. Brett Hubbard is the one that takes our minutes for us. So just to give you an idea, we don't have any entrance application fee. Everybody that's wanted to come to the meeting has come to the meeting, and you can see there's a lot of appropriate agencies here. So mental health, law enforcement, and you got representation by the county courts and the county departments. So I don't really have any other comments. I would like to, let me see, there's one comment I had here. Yeah, so I don't know, I'm probably going to maybe suggest working with Cammie to see what the 26 budget can look like, because these costs that are in this this project list are expected to be ongoing costs. So there's a lot of interest in other agencies having money, so we kind of need to develop that and work through the logistics of how to do that. But as you can see right now, if this exists, there's only 30,000 left. It's not going to go a long way. So I'll work with Cammie and make a suggestion, and the board can decide what they want to do. The one last thing I will say is we do try to follow in the decisions that we make or the suggestions that we make, the 4 pillars that the state task force has come up with, which is prevention, harm reduction, treatment, and recovery. And I'm here to answer any questions if anybody has questions.
Does anybody have questions for Jerry?
I just am impressed by the people involved in the task force. I didn't know it was so numerous.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of good discussion. We do try to provide like educational information, reports. We're fortunate we have 2 people, Greg Tuton and Kyle Ramble, that sit on task force for the state. So they bring us updates too, so that's been beneficial to hear those updates as well.
Okay, anybody else have any further questions? So Jerry, keep up the good work. Work well done at the health department. Very important
Thank you.
that you do. Thank you so much. Appreciate the update. Informational items, resignation to the County Road Commission from Brian Johnson. Is there a motion to accept informational item?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Elholm. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Commissioner Adamini. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Do we have a time frame to replace him, or is there,
I
you know, in there statutory time frames, like if you lose a commissioner or something, but I'm not sure it would be for a committee, eh? No?
No. So I think you've got some applications in.
We'd be in trouble if that was the case, because we don't always know.
Well, I don't know if the road commission was a particular.
No, not that one, but
And-
this other one.
And I know there's some applications that you brought me I was supposed to drop off. So I think there's some interest in the road commission board for sure.
There is.
And maybe we'll have enough, 2 weeks, we'll see if we can replace somebody next board meeting. Okay. Action item, first quarter. CFO Cammie, you have the floor.
I am proposing budget amendments as outlined in my memo. Do you have any questions on the memo?
Does anybody have any questions for the new CFO?
Yeah, how often do we do these amendments? Every quarter?
Every quarter.
Every quarter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that stood out a whole lot. I mean, obviously, we're putting a lot of money in our MERS, but
That's a wonderful thing.
it's a wonderful thing.
That's a wonderful thing, yeah. So, we have a document in front of us. What's your flavor, board?
To approve the budget amendments as presented.
Motion by Commissioner Alholm, support by Vice Chair Nordine. Any questions or comments?
Nice job.
Any further? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Make your adjustments. Cammie, I believe you're still up.
I am still up. We have in front of you have a Form L-4029, which is a tax rate request, which is basically a form that's required annually, and it shows the maximum levy we're authorized to levy on our tax bills. So I ask you to approve the tax rate request as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alholm. Support. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Commissioner Adamini. Any further questions or comments for Cammie? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Gwin Teen Clinic recommendation.
I'm here to answer any questions. I did do the memo.
So we have a project here in front of us, Klausner Construction.
We got money from the state to do construction at both of the clinics. The other one's gonna be coming next board meeting, but this is just basically renovations of countertop sinks, some updates and remodeling. We did put it on the Builders Exchange, we did post it on the website, so we got one bid, and Crossing was the one that did that, so.
Okay.
This is all state money?
Yes, all state money, no general fund.
Is there a motion?
There is,
Oh,
unless you want to.
It doesn't matter. I'll make a motion that we follow staff's recommendation and award Klosner Construction the work at the Gwynn.
Motion by the vice chair, support by Commissioner Alholm. Any further questions or comments? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Jerry. SLCG Trail bid award is, do we have, Kara's right back there. I didn't see her. Snuck in back there.
Actually skipped one.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, the Trout Lake.
Oh, Trout Lake, I jumped. I drew on the wrong line.
Yeah, and I have some.
Sorry about that. Getting ahead of my
Good evening,
skis.
Commissioners. The first item that I have is the Little Trout Lake Revival Project Bid Award. I have Richie Wren in the back. He's hiding back there too. He's our prime professional, so he can answer any questions that you might have as well. But as you can see, we had received 4 bids, and Northern Design Works is recommending Associated Constructors. This is for our big project at Little Trout Lake, and very pleased our substantial completion date is November of this year.
I would move to award the bid to the lowest bidder, which is Associated Constructors, for $946,770.
We have a motion. Good. Is that support, Steve? Okay, motion by Vice Chair Nordine, support by Commissioner Adamini. Any further questions or comments for Tara?
One little comment that, it was kind of shocking that it was only a difference of bids by $230, but that happens occasionally, and I guess Associated's on the right end of that issue, so.
Yeah, Associated is in the back too.
Yeah, I see him there. Yeah.
So it is what it is, that's the way bids are, so. I'm glad to see we received 4 bids, and further that most of them were, I guess all of them were local, so it's good.
Any further questions or comments?
Thank you for all your hard work. This is a good project. You know, that park's been sitting there kind of dormant for years, and you, through your efforts with grants and et cetera, have really turned into the.
Thank you.
Okay. Here, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Stay right where you are, Tara. You're still up.
Okay, the next item that I have is the Silver Lead Creek Greenway Trail Bid Award. And in the audience is John Poromsky from Wickwire. He's our other prime professional for this project. This is to construct nearly 3 miles of trail in the newly established Silver Lead Creek Greenway. This is non-motorized trail. We also have enough funding to construct a bridge over the creek, so that's a pleasant surprise. This is a combination of grants that were bid together. You can see that there's a kind of a 2 phases and 2-part recommendation. I do have one amendment to the recommendation, and that is that the county has not signed off on the EGLE Environmental Justice Grant yet, so I would include that in the award pending the finalization of that.
Okay. Any further questions for Tara?
So I would move, are we gonna do them in 2 or in 1?
We can do this all in once.
So I'd make a motion
Yeah.
to award this to the low bidder, which is MJ Van Dam Trucking, Inc., for phase 1 and phase 2. However, phase 2 being contingent upon receiving the grant at Cedars, right? There's a grant
Well,
outstanding.
Phase 1 is actually contingent on signing the grant agreement.
Okay.
Phase 2 is contingent on funding.
Okay.
Okay, so phase, just so we gotta get this straight. So phase 1 is contingent on the
Grant
the
funding.
grant, no, signing the grant,
Signing the
and
grant
phase
agreement.
2 is obtaining the grant funding. So those are two contingencies. Other than that, we're voting for it.
Okay, motion on the floor by the vice chair. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Bill or support by Steve, motion by Bill. Any further questions or comments?
Yeah, I want to comment that Van Dam was about half as much as the other bidders, which I think is a good thing, and that's why we vote for bids, and I guess they're better positioned since they're at Sawyer, and it's nice to have one of the people that operate out of Sawyer to get these bids to work on Sawyer.
Well,
That worked out well.
yeah, recreation is a big thing in Marquette County, and it's great to see it being enhanced. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Tara. Nice work. Exterior concrete stairs repair. David, you have the floor, sir.
Good evening, Commissioners. I've got a RFP that was conducted recently looking for bids for concrete stair repair at our fixed base operator at the airport. They provide fueling services and other services to general aviation customers. Went out for bids, received 3 bids, and the lowest bid was UP Concrete Company out of Park River for $14,900. And I'd like to recommend approve the bid and authorize for the contract to be executed. And like I said,
Okay.
the project was going to be funded through airport reserves. That's
Airport, okay, thank you for that. And we, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if anyone wants to make a motion. I'm happy to, I just don't want to make them all.
Yeah, no, this is your district.
Oh, it is my district. I'll make a motion that we award this bid to UP Concrete Company in the amount of $14,900 and authorize the chairperson to execute the contract.
So we have a motion on the floor by Vice Chair Nordine. Is there support? Support by Commissioner Adamini. Any further questions or comments?
I just want to thank David Earhart to the county. I don't think I've met you yet, and you're the new assistant out there, right?
correct. Yes.
Okay. I saw you though, because I was out at the fire event when
Okay.
with the plane. So I saw you, and I think your young child was there.
Yep.
I meant to come and talk to you. I never made it over there, so I was busy putting flames out. But, so yeah, all right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Non-represented bonus recommendation. Cammie, would you like to dive in?
Again, just a brief memo, though the courthouse union closed their negotiations with awarding a bonus to all employees on their anniversary date, and the non-representative group requested the same. Historically, since the non-reps have supervised the courthouse union employees, their benefits have followed what has been agreed with the courthouse union. So that's why the memo is in front of you to consider a bonus of $500 on the non-rep anniversary dates.
I have
So-
a question.
Go ahead.
Is this for it's a 3-year contract, so is it a one payment for the 3 years or a payment for each of the 3 years?
It's each year.
Oh, it's $500 each year?
Oh, it's each year.
I did not understand
Anniversary.
that. That's an interesting question, so I thought it was just the first year.
No, this is different from the previous bonuses that were approved to be a
Right, right.
retention.
But this is the same thing we
Compensation.
provided the, our union employees.
Correct.
Everybody else.
So I believe we call this a retention bonus is the reason we, to retain quality employees. Is
It's a
that-
bonus by another name.
It's a bonus by another name,
Yeah.
yes it is.
I would move to follow the proposed recommendation of mirroring the union contract with the $500 retention bonus for each of the 3 years of the AFSCME. I think
Well-
it's AFSCME contract?
Yeah.
It follows the ASME.
Follows
So
that.
motion on the floor by Commissioner Elholm. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Commissioner Adamini. Any further questions or any further questions for Cammie? Tongue-tied. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Late edition, LSCP. Christopher, would you like to come up? How are you?
Hanging in there, how you doing?
I'm well. So, we're here tonight to talk about, I got a call, as you know, from the airport director, Dwayne Duray, and he had a concern about, there's a legislative ask for $3 million for Sawyer. In fact, between our lobbyists and also at the MAC conference, they fully committed their support along with the senator and all of the Upper Peninsula legislators. So I was a little troubled to hear that one of them or some of them have withdrawn their support due to the fact that we don't have an administrator or and now a deputy that were absent. So can you expand on that a little bit, Christopher?
I actually hadn't heard that any of them have withdrawn their support, so as you know from talking to other folks, we'd heard the same thing, but hadn't been able to corroborate it yet.
So who actually started that then? Where did that come from? Am I allowed to ask you that?
No, we're in a public meeting, my conversations are confidential, I believe you know the answer to that, Shane.
Sure, I do.
So,
I do.
if you're not gonna name them, I'm not gonna name them. It's not fair.
No, I'm good with that. But it really makes it difficult to proceed with any institution or any individual that deliberately tries to derail the county's ability to create economic development and economic wealth at Sawyer. You know, those colors, they've been shown, so we're gonna have to work through that. Vice Chair, go ahead.
So you made it sound like the legislators had pulled their support, and I don't find that true whatsoever.
That is not true.
There's a rumor out there and some emails that went back and forth that somebody's been saying that. That doesn't make it true. That makes it a rumor. So, at the end of the day, when there's a grant out there that says the legislators are providing money to Marquette County needs to handle that money, not the Lake Superior Community Partnership, because if something goes backwards or has a problem with it, guess who they come to? They come to the county.
Yep.
We're the ones that are on the line. It's our grant, and we administer the grants that come in the name of Marquette County.
Yep. Yeah, we certainly understand that now. And
So we didn't care that it started off differently, but when we shifted, and the chairman wanted to shift and say, no, we're going to administer that. I mean, it's still going to go to the same place, and so I don't want to get too bound down by this.
Right.
But it's still going to go to the same place. But it's an issue that, we have a responsibility, and we're going to take that seriously, and we're going to make sure that funds that are directed to Marquette County are handled by Marquette County.
So in all fairness, Christopher, our executive assistant to the board, Brett, and Dwayne Duray, we were all actually on a conference call, and Christopher and the LSCP fully agreed to those changes. So I was really shocked to find out that there was some intervention from some other direction. So that's why we're talking about that tonight. And thank you for clearing that up. I will make one note that I was just to put it on the record. So I think when we have emails that are pertinent to the legislature, LSCP, and the county, I would be suspect. I'm curious as to why we include Invest UP at the same time. So having that, let's just move that on and not have this issue again.
Sure, no,
Fair?
I agree. I mean, we included that with SUP because they've been a close airport partner to the date, and they actually have helped us navigate the process.
Right,
So that's why
right.
we included them.
Sure, thank
So,
you.
and if I just may, I want to point out that we have fully agreed that the money should go to the county. At the time, we were navigating a brand new process, a very public transparency process, and we had days to pull something together and submit something. We put our name on it in the
Right.
interest of the assumption that it would eventually go to the county, right? That it would be changed to do that. We were shocked by Tanner's response today that it can't do that, so we're working through other angles to do
So, yeah, it's interesting that, that happened, but I will say, I don't say anything privately, I wouldn't say publicly,
Mhm.
but, if Marquette County doesn't obtain the $3 million or the appropriation that everybody was fully supportive of 2 weeks ago, maybe we'll be looking to tar and feather the person that caused this issue, so, let's just, move on and close it off.
Metaphorically.
Metaphorically.
Not a
No,
You
no,
look
no,
like you got a
that's,
little nervous, Carl, all right?
isn't that what they did in good government back in
Yeah.
1700s?
Back in 1700.
Right, right.
We all need
I
to
would
put-
certainly hope that you're not insinuating the LSP.
No.
No,
That's
no,
certainly
no.
how that sounded.
I've cleared that
Alright.
it was not the LSCP.
We all need to pull in the same direction for the good of the
Yep.
community.
And that's what we've been doing.
That's what we did.
Yeah, I think it's important to acknowledge right with this, and the reason that we did, I mean, the LCP has taken a loss on studies for the airport. We would want to travel to Utah in support of the airport. This is our attempt to grab something on behalf of the county, right, while we had the chance to.
Great
Right,
job.
right,
Great job.
So-
right.
So I just want to
And,
make sure that's clear.
yes, and we're supportive and, look forward to continue working together with you.
Well, the sad part is that it was a great thing to go and secure a $3 million
Yeah.
grant, and you did the legwork and got all that, and then we have this little cloud on it. So
Well, it hasn't been
let's move past
appropriated
it.
yet, right?
Yeah,
That's what we'd like to do.
Well,
So thank you.
have it lined up. But, so yeah, we need to move past that, so.
Perfect. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I appreciate we can have this conversation and clear it too. It's been bothering me all weekend too, as I'm sure as you, Chairman, as well. So I appreciate your grace on Friday as I was dealing truly with some personal
Yep,
issues.
no, we're good.
Didn't have time to tap.
No, we're good. We're good.
All right.
Mr. Adamini?
I was a member of the legislature at one time. And if everybody had said it was, and then it got changed, somebody else got a slice of action there.
Sure.
I think it would have been, highly, contested by, somebody.
Right.
And it should have been public.
Public. Like the
Okay.
request is public. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, and I think to that point too, just so it was clear, if it
Yeah,
had
we're-
somehow, just because we couldn't change it and end up with us, we had committed to no fee, no admin fee, we would have committed to time to manage it.
And why why was part of it?
So none of it was coming to the LSCP, and like it was coming under that ask to us as the intermediary till we could figure out how to put it in the county's name.
And
That
help,
was our
and help the
intention.
community, right?
Right.
Yep, exactly, that was our intention 100%.
Thank you for coming in tonight.
Thanks, guys,
You bet.
appreciate it.
Moving right along, public comment. Public comment. Any further public comment? One more time, public comment. Any digital, electronic? Commissioners' comments. Steve, you have the floor.
I've said what I
Okay.
wanted to say.
Commissioner Alholm. Vice Chair.
I will take a moment, I guess, to reflect on the last few months. You know, we've had a challenge trying to find an administrator, and it's not over yet, but we're trying to work in that direction. But with that, I want to give the chair a lot of credit because some really good things have occurred. I mean, we dealt with the medical examiner. That wasn't a new thing. I mean, that had been going on for years. We addressed some issues with Telkite, which have been going on for years. I mean, we're working towards this new jail, which have been going on for decades. So I would say, all in all, even without an administrator, things have been going pretty well. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to keep doing it. I want an administrator as soon as possible. But I do want to recognize the chair, who's put in a whole lot of time to make sure that things are taken care of. He really has, and I thought that things have gone pretty well. So there's my 2 cents.
Counselor, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I'm better off just saying no comment tonight.
Okay. Cammy?
I have great news from the finance world. The
There we
county
go.
has received a EPA grant for environmental assessment for $400,000.
Yep.
And also our AmeriCorps funding has been renewed for the RSVP program in the amount of $92,500.
Nice.
Which we were previously funded at $50,000 annually. So this was surprising to us, and I'm happy to share the great news.
Wonderful news, wonderful news. Keep up the good work. Clerk, what do you have for us, Linda?
I am good.
You're good.
Thank you, though.
You are very
Oh,
good.
okay. Well, I have a little bit for you, everybody, tonight. So, first I'd like to start off by thanking the sheriff for having cutting loose the undersheriff to take 2 days out of his week and traveling to Saginaw, Michigan, with myself, Lowell Larson, our undersheriff. We left yesterday in attempts to recover the 22 autopsy reports that the former provider has not completed, and we have 22 families still without closure. So though I'm not totally, I don't want to use the words we're happy because we don't have closure yet, but we were able to recover 18, we received 18 completed reports, which included and several remains that will be going to the funeral director and the Holy Cross Cemetery, along with investigative data that the undersheriff signed and took back. So the hard part to this is there's still 11 reports that are incompleted. We're still working to get them. Carl Newmanen will be diligently preparing his next move to obtain those reports. The doctor that was not there, but one of his staffers was there. She was very helpful in transferring those records. We transferred those records, and we're still awaiting, and we don't have a specific date on the remaining, but we did retrieve 18. So we drove down yesterday immediately to try to get there for 6 o'clock. The target then moved to 10 a.m. today. We waited in the parking lot till 10 a.m., entered the facility and obtained 18 autopsy records to bring back to get closure for those 18 families. Stay tuned on the next 11. We will continue the pursuit, and they lie in the doctor's hands to complete them. All of the forensic material has been completed. It's just a matter of paperwork to be submitted and finished, and we will get those over to Linda, the clerk, to issue death certificates and get this thing finished and behind us. This was a very important thing for us to do, and Lowell, I can't thank you enough for, you actually left a service meeting that you were doing to escort me down, and to be truthful, we wouldn't have gotten the records. After we had left, they told us they weren't going to turn them over to the board chair, but they weren't going to say no to the big deputy there. So that's all I have.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, well, it's very important, right? I mean, this doctor, he needs to know the importance of closure for these families and the hardship he's causing, by playing games. So I think Mr. Newman will be able to handle it from here moving forward with Dr. Stockman.
Continue to keep the full court press on until we get all the materials that we're entitled to.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Steve.
Just one last thing. If some of the people who have left and have think that we're not capable of carrying on, wait and see the difference in how money is being handled now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Meeting adjourned.
No closed session?
No, I don't think we.
Do we need it?
Did you have anything specific you needed to go into closed session for?
No, but there was a request for.
Yeah, I had a request for it.
Statutory authority for closed session, but I think we've resolved those. We're not ready to do that anyway.
We're
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
just wanted to make sure.
Potential litigation.
Okay.